Hey, what's going on? Miguel, host of Life Full Circle Radio. And it is Wednesday. I guess I need to stop calling out days because, well, basketball season's over now. So we'll touch on that here, because my baby girl's team went 12-1. They lost the championship. I think she handled it better than the rest of the family. We'll talk about that. Anyway, Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion are in this rap battle, which has gotten personal to the point that Megan Thee Stallion's mom passed of brain cancer a couple of years ago, and they're having to guard her grave. These people have lost their damn minds. So we're gonna talk about that. Going to another Nikki Haley was on the Breakfast Club this week as the Republican primaries are ramping up, and she had some interesting things to say. We'll talk about that. The Grammys, the major categories in the Grammys are being dominated by women by far, and so we're gonna discuss that as well as something else. I don't know, whatever. Let's move on. Super producer.
I'm glad I got that yell out before we came live on the air.
You got your Whitney Houston wig on this week.
I do. I love this hair. This is
with somebody. I want to feel the heat with somebody. All right. So
and because I don't care, like it's like a headband wig, so all I have to do is like slide it down.
It was this video that popped up. I don't know how this stuff popped up on my feed. It was this young lady who put a perm on her edges, and she was just wiping off her edges. The edges was gone. I said, Lord Jesus, have mercy.
Wait, did she have natural hair? Because you really shouldn't do that. But
nah, she had, her hair was straightened, so I'm assuming it was perm, but she put perm on her edges and she just took a napkin and just wiped it off. The things we see on social media these days. So,
was that on purpose or an accident? Sorry, this is a weird thing.
According to the video, it was on accident. All right, let's get into this thing. We got people jumping in and out now, so.
Sorry, we're here.
Yeah. So anyway, this week has been interesting, as I mentioned. My daughter, if you're following me on social, and that is Miguel Lloyd Inc., you'll see some stuff on my story talking about my 12-year-old daughter who's she's doing pretty good. She's a basketball player. Her team went 12. She's gonna be all right. She's gonna be all right.
UConn, here we come.
Hey, hey, I'm good with that. UConn or South Carolina. Hey, what's going on to our fam down in South Carolina? So anyhow, but they lost on Monday night, 12-1. Only game they lost was a championship game. But we're proud of her, and now it's on to the club season. So that's why it's Wednesday. It's not on Monday. We're doing the show. So let's jump into this thing. So I largely ignore these rap beefs that seem to be going on, especially when it comes, because I'm not listening to these people like that. Like
it's not our thing.
It's not our thing. No. But then all of a sudden this popped up on my life. Mom's Cemetery amps up security refuge from Nicki's Barbs. Catch me up. First of all, Barbs are her social media community, for those who don't know.
Barbs are her psychotic fans, and her fans are literally psychotic. I've never, and Miguel, even though you don't pay attention, you can attest to this as well. Yeah. I've never seen a fan base as delusional, as devoted, as hero worshipy as Nicki Minaj fans. But
really, they're more than Beyonce.
5 times more. 5 times more. You want to know why?
Wow.
And we'll go into everything. The reason why they're 5 times worse is because Nicki encourages them. Beyonce doesn't encourage them. When Beyonce's fans do something crazy, like they got mad at Taylor Swift about something. So then she showed up at one of Taylor Swift's events, took a hug with Taylor Swift, and that calms her fans down. Yeah. Nicki doesn't do that. Nicki has actually been feeding this all weekend. So what actually happened is Megan Thee Stallion dropped her song Hiss, her new single. And she has it has a bar in there that says, "Don't be mad at me, be mad at Megan's Law." What people don't know is that Megan's Law is actually named after Megan Kanka. She is a sweet little girl who was sexually assaulted and murdered by a man, and because of that murder, it is now forced for any person who has committed a sexual crime to put on a sex offender registry list so that everybody is aware that this person is on the list. So she made that comment. And, Nicki Minaj's husband, and there was other verses in that song, whole bunch of other verses, but that, what people are saying is
it don't take long.
they're saying that this is addressed towards Nicki.
Sure.
Nicki felt the same way. And again, we all know that her husband, Richard, is it Richard Petty? No, that's a race car driver.
I have no idea what his name is. Yeah, Richard
his
Petty.
Last name is Petty.
I do know that. Richard Petty was a race car driver. I don't know what Nicki Minaj's husband's name is, but go ahead.
His last Kenneth Petty is a registered sex offender. Like if she wanted to take her baby to the park right now with her husband, he can't go. He got to stay home. He can't be nowhere near no schools, nothing like that. So Nicki took it personally and started firing off these tweets. She's just saying stuff, saying that Megan only has one good foot, saying that she made it up, saying that she lied on her dead mother, saying that
wow. Well, hold on. Nicki says all this?
Yes, that she lied on her dead mother, saying that at least Rihanna, because Rihanna got hit by Chris Brown many, many years ago, saying that at least Rihanna, can stand on her own talent. You got hit and you can't. Like, it's been all this nasty stuff. And Megan hasn't responded. Megan actually has told people after what's happened to me, I don't have social media. My social media is with my assistants. I don't want to see it on my phone. I don't want any parts of it because it's for my own peace, which I understand.
It's toxic. Yeah, it's toxic.
It's toxic. But Nicki has been going off all weekend, and then she dropped a diss track. I have seen better diss tracks on a Fisher-Price DJ booth than what Nicki Minaj pulled out. It was awful. And a lot of people are saying you are ruining your own legacy. And she is. Being this toxic online and always thinking somebody's attacking her and always being paranoid, it's ruining her own legacy. I don't care about this beat. I am more concerned that somebody who carried female rap for a good decade, from 2005 to 2015 almost, is now...
She been around 20 years?
20 years.
Nicki Minaj been around 20 years.
She's been around 20 years.
Wow. Okay. Go ahead.
I know. She's been around 20 years. She's been 20 years in this game that she's been a rapper. I know it doesn't seem like it's that long, but it is. And she's behaving like this. Like, what is your opinion about her ruining her legacy doing this type of silly stuff?
Well, I social media really has people moving in a way that it's hard for them to come back from. And Nicki Minaj right now, I guess she's not as hot as she was. When she broke into the game, black women rappers were not getting that level of respect, which had always been that way. You had Latifah and Muhammad D and some others, and Lauryn Hill and others. But she came in and she kind of brought this generation, which was followed by Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion, and now all this bunch of trash is out here now. Yeah,
and quick, just want to say something when you talk about that gap of women. Yeah. It was almost like there was the Eves and a Million and Rod Digger, and then there was like a gap after that, like a long gap.
Eve kind of was in that gap for a little while, but yeah, it was a long time. I'm just trying to think. Lauren didn't do any new stuff for a while, and then Eve was in there, and then then you started to get, as you mentioned, I think her name was Emil, the one who used to rhyme with the Rock Nation. She did a few Rockefeller and them, but what we have now, where at least half of the charts out there are women rappers that are on these charts. They're dominating, and that's something I want to talk. I didn't get a chance to ask this of you before the show, so I won't put you on the spot. But I really believe that part of this, and we're going to spend some time with marketing mastery on the back end. But I really believe the fact that women are so much more active on social media is the reason why these rappers have really gotten to where they are. I don't think
it must be because it damn sure ain't talent.
It's not.
It's not, and the only people I'm excluding that from, I think Megan Thee Stallion is very talented. Yeah. I think Nicki Minaj is very talented. Yeah. But then you got women like Ice Spice and her new song.
Nicki Minaj is too talented, and her brand is too... Here's the mistake I believe Nicki Minaj is making. She and Megan and to some degree Cardi B have brands that a lot of these other rappers do not have. Nicki Minaj has a personality. She's been in movies with white actresses, with kind of the type of stuff that takes you into a different space where you get a different audience which respects you, and then you don't have to come back. She is really, by doing this, it's not good for her brand, in my opinion. And Meg is really, I remember when I saw Meg Thee Stallion for the first time on either Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel, both of them named Jimmy in the late night. And I was like, oh, who is this? This was whatever her first big hit was. And I was like, oh, she's real... I won't say regular, but it was like for her to be at that moment almost a caricature with the tongue and all the tongue and all this type of stuff. but she was on a big stage like a Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel. I said, okay.
Yeah.
So then, but she did, this was before she graduated college. And then she started to really manage her brand. And now she's
And then
doing.
she did that remix with Beyonce, and then it was like into the stratosphere.
At that point, Beyonce put a stamp on you good. Now she's doing gym commercials and stuff
Planet
like
Fitness.
this. Planet Fitness commercials and things like that.
Yeah.
And so to me, which we wouldn't have said 5 years ago, Megan Thee Stallion responded to Nicki Minaj as punching down. And she's like, what? There's no benefit. There's no benefit for me.
There's no benefit.
Just like the whole thing with Kevin Hart responding to Cat Williams, which he did a little bit, but he didn't do it directly. It's punching down. And so Nicki, this thing about them trying to desecrate her mom's grave.
And that's the next story we're gonna get into. The fandoms and the Barbs, the Nicki Minaj fans. Listen, if you little MFers are listening to this show, you all are disgusting. Not even about desecrating somebody's grave, a grave site. That's what you guys have come to. There was a young girl from Flint, Michigan, who, while this was going on, said, at Nicki Minaj, just wanted to let you know that we're still dealing with the water crisis in Flint, Michigan. If you mind retweeting my post, that would be really, really great to help, bring more awareness to what's going on in Flint. Do you know what her fans did? Called her stupid, called her a B word, called her a C word, say, if you can't drink the water, go drink mud. If you can't drink the water, move.
Yeah,
that's not even normal response. Like, I don't understand.
These people are incels. These are not normal people who spend this much time online. You know what I mean? Like, you look at their avatars and it's like nothing. It's just, and that's the thing. I saw a video recently with LL Cool J talking. Somebody was talking to him about Charlamagne the God. You know how I feel about Charlamagne the God. I don't like bullies.
I do. No, you don't.
And I think he uses his platform to bully people. When we talk about the Breakfast Club, because he's a Wendy Williams clone, right? He came up in the game with Wendy Williams.
He did.
Who taught him. That's how you get. And hey, it's successful. He's got the biggest morning show in the country. But there was talk about LL talking about he was gonna, he might have knocked Charlamagne the God out and blah blah blah. But my point is that the internet gives people the ability to be bullies who would never say or do these things to your face. And
keyboard killers, internet thugs.
And that's the nonsense that you see. You can't, and I can't imagine, in my small world, I can't imagine being a Meg or being a Beyonce. I know why, or Jay-Z, these people, why they never on social media, because I wouldn't be either. You know what I mean? It's too much of a rabbit hole of trash that can pull you in. And I can't imagine with that type of stage. This woman just lost her mother 2 years ago, and you guys are desecrating her grave. It's just absolutely
or attempting to. But even funnier, it makes me concerned about Nicki, because you are Nicki Minaj. You are the most famous female rapper out right now. Why are you feeding into your fan base so much, like you need them to worship you? Mm-hmm. That's what I'm confused about when it comes to Nicki. With Beyonce fans, she loves them. She loves her fans.
Sure.
But she doesn't need them to survive. Like, Beyonce could be like, I'm not putting out no more music. I'm good. And it's fine. Rihanna, I'm not putting out no more music. I'm good. I'm not on social media. I post a little bit about my fashion line, whatever.
Yeah.
Nicki Minaj directly responds to people, directly interacts with them, almost like guiding them what to do. And it's extremely disturbing. And when you think about where Nicki Minaj's life is right now, this is not where you thought she would be. Did you really think Nicki Minaj would be married to a registered sex offender?
I haven't given it much thought, but I would think that she would have better choices available to her, right? Someone that she knew is a registered sex offender. But here's the thing: Nicki Minaj, and I don't know, maybe she's got Fashion Nova or whatever products or whatever. Maybe she's not having the success that these other artists. Because here's the thing that people don't understand. And I didn't get this clip ready because I'm not ready. I went to a conference, Traffic Sales and Profit Conference, Lamar Tyler, Ronnie Tyler, and I got a chance to interview Master P along with some other folks, bloggers and press folk. And I was so impressed with Master P. And one of the things he said to me, during this conference, he said, I'm out the music business. I ain't doing music no more. I'm selling cereal, and because he's talking about his deal with Snoop and the stuff that they're doing, and he's trying to push his product through Amazon and things like that. He said there's no money in music no more. And so the point is, all of this that Nicki Minaj is doing is to gain visibility. Because as you said, Rihanna don't have to make no more music for right now.
She sure don't.
She's selling enough draws and cologne and pure perfume. She ain't got to show
And
her
makeup.
face and makeup.
Her
She ain't got to show her
line.
face. Beyonce, these tours she just did was absolutely phenomenal, selling out stadiums all over the country. Nicki Minaj, probably can't sell out, a mall right now. So you want to get this visibility by getting into these conflicts. And that's always, to me, is just like, what brand
But
are you
that still
creating?
seems dumb. I mean, again, me and Miguel, we always say this, we're from the marketing background, a PR background.
Yeah.
I would have snatched her phone and been like, if you need to get out there, honey, we can get you on the Today Show. We can get you on Good Morning America. We can get you on some decent platforms to promote your music or interact with your fans or doing a cool fan event or something. This is not the way. And it makes me wonder who's in her camp. And rumor has it, and a lot of people are speculating, and we don't know this, allegedly, that during this whole thing that she has been on a drug binge. And that's why all this happened like that, because she was up, because I don't sleep that well. I get very little amount of sleep because the kids and everything. She was up almost like me, tweeting constantly, 48 hours straight, middle of the night, middle of the day, early in the morning, right after breakfast. She's tweeting. It's like she never got any sleep. So if it's really a drug thing, I don't know. It's just all disturbing
it's
to
all
me.
speculation.
And
It's all speculation at this point. We don't know what's going on from that regard. And hold on, matter of fact, didn't Tasha K get in trouble for that? So we ain't gonna go to Tasha K route. Talking about she on drugs.
But we got proof. The girl was up for 48 hours straight. Don't make me pull up the tweets and make me read it. It was 48 hours straight. Not Andre. Okay. All right, let's go. Are we jumping from one Nicki to another Nicki?
Yeah, there you go. You read my mind. One Nicki to the other Nicki. So let's set this up. Nikki Haley, who is running for the Republican nomination. We just talked about Charlamagne the God, and let's hear a little bit about what Nikki Haley had to say about racism, because she claims it don't exist.
Inequalities in America, in education, home ownership, employment and wealth, healthcare. Can you admit that America is systemically and structurally a racist country?
I think culture has a lot to do with it, right? But it's more of, if you look at that, how do you fix it?
Because even when you say all men are created equal, no, they weren't, because we were labeled 3/5 of a human. Black people were.
Right, and we made that wrong right. And we've got some more rights we have to do. But so
systemically and structurally, do you think America is racist? Not the people, not everybody in America.
I don't think America's racist. I think we have racism in America, and I think we have cultural issues. But let me explain where I am. So first of all, I grew up in a town of 2,500 two stoplights. We were the only Indian family in that small southern town. We weren't white enough to be white. We weren't black enough to be black. They didn't know who we were, what we were, or why we were there. In that rural town, we didn't know what we didn't have. And so people just survived. I now have a education foundation in South Carolina where we do after-school programs in all rural challenged areas, because you've got to give.
I can't do it.
I'm going to punch her in the face when I see her. Talk about somebody ruining their legacy. You're ruining your legacy. You are just said on this national radio show that you were the only brown family, not black, not white, brown family in a city of 2,500 people, and you skirted around the answer some magical way to talk about your education foundation. We didn't know what we didn't have. What does that mean?
Of course. It means I'm a Republican, and I'm on a dance and not answer any questions because that's the game. And I just sit back and watch this. Now, it is what it is. People can be Republican, absolutely.
Space though, you are in a safe space. It's not. This is the part that I get confused about.
None of it is safe. Think about it. No, all this stuff. This interview was on MSNBC right before I came in here. So everything that is recorded is going to be scrutinized and be used for media. So, it is what it is. And on that side of the ledger, on that side of the aisle, the right wing, it's like you've got the border situation going on. And I really do believe that major media basically taking Donald Trump off of his comments and things have really benefited him in the long run. Because I think people have really forgotten how terrible that man is.
No, well, he recently just lost another court case, and he has 7. I didn't realize it was 7 more cases he has to face. Anybody know it was 7 more cases he has to face?
Man, I'm just if I don't care unless these cases keep him off the ballot in November. I don't give a doggone because he ain't writing no checks.
They have kept him off the ballot in 2 states. 2 states have removed him completely.
But it's going to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court will determine it. It's Colorado, and what's the other one? I forget the other one.
Maine?
One of them. But the Supreme Court will have a say in that, which is 6-3.
And they will. And there's other states who are considering. But when let me just stick on the Nicki, because I tend to go off the rails a little bit. With the Nicki situation, she skirts around answers.
Yeah.
She doesn't realize that people who are also going to vote for you, who may feel comfortable voting for you, are not white. Some of us are brown and black. And when you make these comments and almost gaslight us as people of color and say, America's not a racist country. What are you talking about? It's like, girl, are you insane? America is actually a racist country. It was founded on racism. It was literally founded on racism. Why do I say it was founded? Because white people came from England, came over here, saw the brown people. Brown people became savages and bad, and then the brown people died because we brought diseases. Then they're like, the Indians are gone. Somebody's going to toil this land. Yeah. Let's go get the black people so they can do the work. That is a foundation of racism.
Yeah. So, but according to her, we fixed that. That's no longer a problem.
She said that, but when did that happen?
It happened in come on now. It happened in the American education system. That's what people are told. And I just look at this stuff, and then there's a movie that I haven't had a chance to watch yet. This Killers of the Flower Moon that I keep hearing.
You gotta watch it.
Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it, but I'm working on the book right now, and it's such a compelling story. It really is. Because
I don't know who shared it with me. I guess it wasn't you, but the story that was behind it.
Me.
Was it you who shared it with me?
Me.
The video who talked about the history of that land and the natives that are there.
I didn't share the video. I talked you through it last time we were on the
Yeah, there's a video that I watched that I want to say maybe Amanda Seals or somebody had put this back together. And so basically it's just crazy. There was land. These Indians were sitting on oil and
they owned the oil. The oil was there, and they would sell them. Yep.
But white folks came in as they always do, and they just stole it and killed all the men in this society and stole it. It's just
women, because the widows would inherit the money, so you have to kill the widow as well. Like it was bad. But I feel even outside of politics, Nicki couldn't even go to the Breakfast Club and dress cool. What is that? What are you wearing? Is that an ankle length skirt?
Hey man,
and a Beetlejuice top.
Hey, she. Here's the issue. Here's the issue that I have with the Breakfast Club, right? And it is what it is. You know who your audience is, and so is anybody on? I wonder how many Democrats are going on. Anyway, these clowns on the right. Your audience is largely Democratic. Your audience is largely African Americans that are not going to benefit from having any of those Republicans in office, and you giving her a platform, as well as Vivek Ramaswamy, who you gave him a platform last week, and he doing push-ups in the studio. This is a clown show, but
I think they're hoping that at some point these people of color will have something that connects to this audience, and they haven't. Not that they have to say that. No.
They care about ratings, but go ahead.
But not even what I'm saying is it's not even like they need to switch their opinion or be, against Trump. Say something that connects to the audience that's listening to you so they can kind of see you have some kind of humanity. And that's just not happening. A person in marketing, it's like, oh, you guys are doing this wrong.
No, they're not. They're doing it. They're not talking to the people. The only benefit to Vivek and Nicki going on these black shows is to be able to say we talk to the black shows. To show that we, that's just that I saw somebody, and I got into a little bit of a back and forth. Somebody claimed, I think it was, I forgot who it was, one that 30-something%, there's polls that show 30+% of black folks are going to vote for Donald Trump. I said, ain't no way in hell 30% of black folks going to vote for Donald Trump.
It's not 30%.
No way. It's not 30%. And so, as I said, because I think it was 12% of black men last time, or between 12 and 15%, and the black women was much less than that, 6 to 8%. And so when it's all said and done, when it's all said and done, thank you, Pop. So
sorry, I'm sorry. I threw you off. I just what did he bring you something to drink?
No, he brought me food.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. So anyway, I forgot my thought now. I forgot what I was talking about. So, but when it's all said and done, man, it's really about a show. The show is not for the show is for the Republicans. The show is, we are so polarized. We are so separated in our thinking, but I just, this year is going to be crazy. It really.
Well, it's interesting. This is not on our list of topics, but this year, election year, is going to be so interesting. Guess who went back to his job at the Daily Show? Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart is now back at the Daily Show as the host and as the producer for the entire election year.
Now that makes perfect sense.
It absolutely does.
That should have been, because I've actually heard people are trying to get him to possibly run for president.
No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm okay. I do think he's a great advocate for his groups, because one of the groups he's always advocated for is the 9/11 firefighters and police officers, for them to get full pensions and full health care after, because that was something that Republicans denied. I think it was 2 years ago they tried to cut all of their health care off for the survivors of 9/11. And he was like, are you all serious?
They've been doing that for years. That's not new. That's not new. They've been doing that for years. And so you're right. I don't know how I missed the show. Jon Stewart's Daily Show return isn't tonight, but it's coming soon. They tried out, well, of course they had our guy Trevor Noah for 5 or 6, 7 years. I think he was on the show that long. And they were going to
hire, what is his name? The Indian comedian.
You
know who I'm talking about, because it's show on Netflix. He was on the Daily Show as well. I can't think of his name right now, but they were going to hire him. He had a minor controversy that was so stupid. I can't believe they even brought it up, that it was an issue, and he lost his job. They've been throwing around Roy Wood Jr., who's a FAMU graduate.
And I remember when he didn't get the job, that I think he left the show after that.
I think he's still there.
Okay, I think I remember when that story hit. I thought he left the show. Yeah.
Jon Stewart, all hail Jon Stewart, is back, because he's a person who was made for that chair. I don't care what anybody says. Jon Stewart was made for that seat.
And Trevor Noah did a good job. Trevor Noah did a good job the time he was there. He was okay. But the whole thing with Jon Stewart, I'm glad to see. Omar said it's Hassan Minaj.
Hassan Minaj. Thank you, honey.
Okay.
Yes, it's Hassan Minaj, who was a comedian, had a show on Netflix. Yes, he was acting in the running, and it was good at it. It was fine. It was fine.
Yeah. So that's good, because all hands on deck, man. This year with Donald Trump, all hands on deck. Nobody. I don't go pull Dan Rather. I know he's out here doing something, but put him on. Give him. Is he alive? Dan Rather is still doing something. He was doing, yes. He's like 90 years old, but he is still creating content. Yes, he is. But I don't care if it's Tom Brokaw. I don't care if it's everybody. Everybody needs to show. Yeah, Tom Brokaw is
see, now I gotta stop what I was doing in Google. Which of these iconic men, Tom Brokaw?
And then I saw recently,
still alive, 83.
Yeah. There's a new podcast. We talked about it last week with our guy who ran for Andrew Gillum, along with the two women who sisters who had show.
That podcast is Let Me Complain About My Job. That what that podcast should. Let me complain about why I lost my job on every single episode. I tried to listen to 2 episodes. I'm like, no, I'm cool. I'm not gonna listen to y'all complain about everything. Like, this is the bag of BS.
Give me the names. It's Andrew Gillum.
Tiffany Cross.
It's Tiffany Cross, which she should never got fired from MSNBC.
That's a fact.
Yeah, and then the other
Angela
Rye, who's dating Jalen Rose. But all hands on deck. You know that?
I think I heard it, but I thought it was a joke. Is that real?
No, that's absolutely not a joke. Why would that be a joke? It's like that they work out.
Because he paints on his hair.
Oh God, he's from Detroit. They love their hairlines.
He uses the Beijing really thick. I mean,
man,
it looks like he's got a Scully cap on.
Oh
like my hair, I can pull it down.
Jalen Rhodes and his barber alone. So anyway, that we are all over the place today.
Dan Rather is 92 years old.
Yes, he is, and he is on one of the secondary news networks doing content now. I'm trying to think which one it is. He's out there. You can probably find it. But no, like I said, all hands on deck now, man. It's like and with everybody out there with a podcast and a mic and all of that, and when it's all said and done, this guy is scaring the crap out of us. If Donald Trump gets back in office, it's going to be hell to pay.
It's probably going to end up having to be a coup or something crazy like that, where the military is going to be like, listen, it's going real bad down here. So we're going to need to, and honestly, I can't wait to see who he picks as his VP. Which one of these butt suckers is going to get the job? Butt suckers used on purpose. Tim Scott got on that stage and said, I love this man so much. Are you serious?
Yeah, that was pretty sad. Yeah. I'm thinking about who's in the any of these that have been out there out front. Which one would make the most sense? And the only one that makes the most sense is Nikki Haley herself, actually. But I think she's gonna dig so much.
Sorry, my hair's not long enough.
What's up with leave the Whitney Houston wig alone?
It's bothering me. I washed it and now it won't lay right. Okay, I'm back. I'm focused.
So Nikki Haley, I don't think she's strong enough to beat Trump, but I think she would be strong on the ticket if they can work it out, which is scary. But I'm hoping that they can't work it out. I just at this point, I hope Nikki would have enough respect for herself to be like, ain't nothing in the world that y'all can do that's going to get me to get on the ticket with Donald Trump.
First time for everything, because she hadn't had respect for herself so far. So let's see how that works out for her.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, let's move on. So we've been talking a little bit about the Breakfast Club today, and so this campaign that they did to me was brilliant. Because Jess Hilarious, for people who don't know, Jess Hilarious, who's and there's another video, I wish I'd have pulled it up, but content creators are winning right now. Kev on Stage just announced today a series he created that was on social media, Churchy. Has been picked up by BET Plus. Yeah. And so there's been content. They've been giving their congratulations all day. The other sister who I love, Pretty V, she did a video early and she just was like, she was amped like, yo, I'm just amped right now. Because if you think about it, this next crop, they all started on social media, whether it's Country Wayne, Jess Hilarious, Pretty V, Kev on Stage, DC Young Fly, all this next crop of folks, they started on social media and they are winning. They are definitely winning. But so the announcement was made. Jess Hilarious about a month ago, made the announcement she was the next person to get the Breakfast Club gig. And then everything stopped. It was like, ooh, crickets. What happened? What's taking so long to get this contract done? And so they finally, you love when I do my crickets. So they finally got it done. Let's run this clip real quick.
Where is Jess? Huh? I would think somebody like the Breakfast Club wouldn't need the clout chase. But knowing them, they probably want somebody light skinned.
Well, I'm Jess with the message. My news is real.
Jess Hilarious.
Now comments on them saying these niggas is trash.
Y'all could have got somebody better than that. I'm not hating.
They don't give a damn about what she's done.
She made the announcement before it was even inked.
That third seat on the Breakfast Club was one of the most sought after covered.
Hello? Audio just went out. Can you see me? Okay. You can't see me.
They can either choose to put a new 3 in there or kill the show off completely.
I think the Breakfast Club is over, man.
You cannot make an announcement. They have rollouts. Parties. They need to make this extravaganza. Women empowerment. And she did some Baltimore shit. They be going rogue.
She spoke too soon.
The audio keeps going out.
Lock it in, y'all. Jess Hilarious will not be the co-host of The Breakfast Club.
This is all just like one big hoax.
These niggas trash. This shit came off as if the two of them had something to do as to why she isn't a part of The Breakfast Club.
I'm sorry you didn't get the job, Les Hilarious.
Do you feel she called them out over not securing her spot as an official co-host?
This is giving me stunt, if you ask me.
So she starts Monday.
I tried to sneak in. That's why he brought. I tried.
You're fine. The audio was going in and out.
I know why.
I'm a little annoyed
myself because I was eating. Go ahead.
I'm annoyed by this rollout. I think it's great. I'm just a little annoyed
for business cards.
by it.
We print that.
I think it
Why
wasn't
you know
really
about
needed.
a rollout? Why you know about a rollout?
Because they could have gone just with her announcement, and they could have said it on the show. People would have tuned in regardless to have Just Hilarious be on the show. Because what's going to happen is, and we all know this, it's going to be that fade out thing where everybody listens on Monday, and then once Monday is over, they're back to the same regular ass ratings they were at before. It's a hype for one day.
But
it's a hype for one day.
It's an attention fight right now. Everybody's trying to get attention. And so I don't have a problem with it. And she used what works right now, what's beef. So as you said, you talked about Corey Holcomb was the bulk of a lot of the profanity laced insults.
Less hilarious.
Right. Corey Holcomb, who first of all, most people don't even know. I didn't even recognize his voice. Corey Holcomb, and I know who he is, but it's not like his voice is like Kevin Hart or Cat Williams. As soon as he talks, as soon as you hear it, you know exactly who it is. He's just another dude that's devolved into an internet troll, and he mad about Just Hilarious. Like, why you mad? Please tell me.
I don't know, but I don't like the rollout. I think she did. Now, don't get me wrong, people listen to the show. She 100% deserves a job. We've said that of all the people they had auditioning for that position, she was the only one where it made sense. I just think it was just, I'm trying to prove everybody wrong. Why? You were already in the seat. Like, everybody wanted you to get the job except for a couple of, I don't know.
I believe all of that was staged. In between, because I think what I've heard some audio that was basically that it was part of her negotiating her contract and they weren't giving her the right money, whatever. And that's where the month gap came in. I believe all of that.
Yes, I believe all of that. Yeah. I believe that. You don't believe that she actually had negotiation issues?
You don't believe that?
No, saying you, okay, so what you're saying is everything else was staged. The real issue that there was negotiation issues that were going behind the scenes and they had to make some kind of like, they couldn't say, we're going back and forth about money. So it says like, we don't know who's going to be the host and we're not sure about this. And
when I saw Envy and Charlamagne about 2 weeks ago have this little fake argument on this show about when they're going to finally announce, I thought we had a host. Well, this is whatever. When I saw that, I said, oh man, this is part of the game right now. This is part of the game. And so, it was almost like she preempted this. So part of it probably, it could, and here's the thing, both things can be true. It could be, both things could be true in this scenario where they're basically like, okay, all right, she blundered it by going out here in a club, grabbing a mic, somebody recording with a cell phone, talking about, yeah, we I'm the new co-host on the Breakfast Club, and the contract wasn't done. And so I think she bought, and they probably found a way to clean it up. In this social media era now, hey, but when it's all said and done,
don't get it twisted. She deserves this job.
She does.
Jess
she
is
fits.
Because they needed somebody young. They needed somebody quick on their feet.
Yep.
They needed somebody with already a built-in fan base, which she already has.
Yep.
And that's Just Hilarious. The other girls they had on there, this is going to sound messed up, but the other girls they had on there were too smart. Smart meaning I'm trying to be,
who else did they have on there? Because I think Just Hilarious is really bright. Well, go ahead. Who else did they have?
Well, no, not that's not what I'm trying to be. The other girls were trying to be too smart. They were trying to be more like they were sitting on a more sophisticated platform, like they were auditioning to be an anchor on a news show is how they were acting. Okay. And that's not how you can do the job. They tested out a lot of people. They tested out Angela Rye. They tested out Tiffany Cross. They tested out a couple of other girls. what I can't think of any of these.
That's interesting.
Young
Both
girls.
Angela Rye and Tiffany Cross tested out. Okay.
But they're not a good fit for this. And they tried Angela Rye a couple of times because her and Charlamagne are friends.
They're friends, sure.
But one, that takes the age of the Breakfast Club way too old because all three of them are around the same age. It's too old. Jess brings in a slightly younger audience they need. Because what I'm hoping happens, it's almost like a Menudo situation where if Jess is here, the younger person, now when Envy retires, we're getting a younger Envy for the Breakfast Club. Okay, now Charlamagne leaves. Now we're getting a younger version of Charlamagne to keep that fan base younger. It can't just be people me and you guys listen to the Breakfast Club. It can't be.
Well, I've never been a consistent listener to the Breakfast Club. I think that the demo is.
My mama likes the Breakfast Club now.
Okay. Well, I think the Breakfast Club has evolved, whereas 10 years ago, and 10 years ago, it was like it was. First of all, I couldn't imagine sitting to because I don't listen to the music. And when I listen to a morning show, I'm gonna listen through the music. I'm gonna take it all in. I stopped listening to terrestrial radio for real 15 years ago, probably. And so when they started to do this thing where they dropped all the clips and they have all these dope interviews and stuff, which I think those interviews don't happen on the show. They can't happen. You can't do a 45. I don't know. Do those 45-minute and hour interviews happen during the course of the show when they stop music? And
they do. So we were driving, when we were driving to Atlanta, come see you, my mom, to listen to the Breakfast Club, and they would come in and out of the music. Like they would talk, music commercials, talk with the same person, music commercials, talk. So it would
then
be
how
it would be.
Yeah. So I guess they're doing the editing piece because when I watch the interviews, the Breakfast Club interviews on YouTube, it seems pretty like it's a consistent flow, which would tell me you can't do 45 minutes of straight talk on a music based program. That's not the original. That's not the formula that's worked over all these years. But obviously, whatever they're doing is working.
When we listened on iHeart, and also what it seems like to me, the Breakfast Club isn't putting the music in. It's almost like that was done. Like they're going to continue to talk, and then whenever there's a break in the conversation, that's when they're like, "Let me jump right in here and add the conversation, the commercials and stuff."
So they may have the conversation continue, and they're recording the entire conversation, and then the parts that you missed, there's music playing, and then you get the full interview after the show.
That's what it sounds like to me.
That's probably what's happening, So anyway, so applause, round of applause to Jess Hilarious. I think she's going to be really good on that show without a doubt. I love her. I think she's funny. She's funny in a slightly ratchet type of way, which and I just love Baltimore people. They entertain me.
I just wish that my family is DC Baltimore, and it always warms my heart when I see a Baltimore person try to say the word "to." It just warms.
And for people who are from that region, there's a big difference between a DC accent and a Baltimore accent.
It's very different.
Very different. And it's I have some good friends from Baltimore. I went to school there for a hot minute, Morgan State. And so I really love that city, and I think Jess is gonna be amazing.
Maryland.
Yeah, that's DC. That's all day. That's Maryland. That's DC all day. It's so funny. My sister went to a stepping event in my hometown area in Norfolk, Virginia, and she said, "Miguel, they don't say Norfolk. No, it's Norfolk."
No, it's Norfolk.
It's Norfolk.
It's almost like you're saying the F word.
I didn't go to Norfolk State. I went to Norfolk State.
But it's almost like you guys are saying the F word. Like it's it's the F word is how that N sounds. I don't know if you guys realize it. Is that supposed?
Norfolk. Yeah. It's Norfolk, Virginia.
You got a Norfolk State.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, so kudos to Jess Hilarious, and for her announcement, and then of course, as you mentioned, she made a butt out of Joe Button and Holcomb and DJ Academics, who I still don't understand why he's called a DJ because he don't play records.
But how is he still popular?
I have no idea. I would never sit down and listen to that incel ever in life, unless it's dropped in somebody else's content and I want to comment. But I'm not sitting down and no. He didn't went after all types of women. He don't respect women. Yeah, I mean, he talks beef, but stays up wherever he is, held up. He probably will never come out. He probably get DoorDash every day, never leaves his house, because that dude's a clown. All right, so
Grammy nominations.
Grammy nominations. And as we're transitioning into these Grammy nominations, man, the women, and we talked about this earlier, women are absolutely dominating the Grammys in the major categories. Now, with that being said, one of the one of the stories is that it's still only 24% of the categories are nominated by women, and so which tells you that okay, as much as we sing the praises of how great this is, we're still talking about 24%, up from 15%, and that's something that's supposed to be a big deal. And
Miley Cyrus is nominated for Album of the Year for what? That's where you get a little.
I have no idea. I legit. I saw a graphic earlier that showed all these rappers that were added to the new 2K4 basketball video game, and I said I am at that point that I have no idea who these people are. I have no clue who these people are. Miley Cyrus, and I don't know if she's doing pop or if she's doing country. She started off, her family has country roots. So you got SZA, you've got.
Let me go through you want me to go through all the nominations or just the women?
Go through the majors or through the women for Song of the Year and all of that. Yeah.
So Record of the Year nominees are Worship by Jon Baptiste, Not Strong Enough, Boy Genius, Flowers, Miley Cyrus, What Was I Made For, Billie Eilish, On My Mama, Victoria Monet, Vampire, Olivia Rodrigo, Anti-Hero, Taylor Swift, and Kill Bill, SZA. Album of the Year nominations, World Music Radio by Jon Baptiste, The Record, Boy Genius, Endless Summer Vacation, Miley Cyrus, Did You Know That There's a Tunnel Under the Ocean, Lana Del Rey, The Age of Pleasure, Janelle Monáe, Guts, Olivia Rodrigo, Midnights, Taylor Swift, and SOS, SZA. Now in that category, it's mostly women. Those are all female artists.
Absolutely. They already talked about that the album of the year, the major ones, I think 6 of 7 are all. Who is the one? Oh, Jon Baptiste, I guess, is the one man that's in that category.
And then Song of the Year, AW, Lana Del Rey, Anti-Hero, Taylor Swift, Butterfly, Jon Baptiste, Dance the Night, that is Dua Lipa and Carolina Allen, Flowers, Miley Cyrus, Kill Bill, SZA, Vampire, Olivia Rodrigo, What Was I Made For, Billie Eilish, Best New Artist, Gracie Adams, Fred Again, Ice Spice. I'll be mad later.
And as I mentioned, at this year's Grammy Awards, 24% of the nominations across 6 major categories: Record of the Year, Album of the Year, Song of the Year, Best New Artist, Producer of the Year, Songwriter of the Year went to women, up from 15.5% last year. So, it's great to see these numbers, and it's great to see that these artists are getting recognized for being amazing artists.
We're not on the screen right now.
I know it. I'm pulling it.
Oh, okay.
It's fine. It's fine. For people who don't know, as I'm hosting this show, I'm producing the show as well. And right now, sometimes things don't move like I want them to move. So anyway,
and I can't help because I don't have an Apple computer, and I never will. So there you go. Sorry, guys.
Anyway,
and last thing on our list is Kimber is still a horrible person. Cha cha cha.
Oh my God! But before we get off the Grammy thing, and we didn't talk about before we get to Kimber, I do want to talk about Taylor Swift and her impact.
Okay.
Because right now the Super Bowl is in 2 weeks. Kansas City Chiefs versus the San Francisco 49ers. And Taylor Swift, there's incels out there complaining because they're seeing too much Taylor Swift on the screen during games.
Because we are.
I'm not putting you in the incel category. I said incel. I led into that, and now you just said because we are.
We are.
Oh God. So anyway,
even my husband, even Omar is like, they show her a lot.
It's a whole.
But they do show her a lot.
It's a whole crop of audience folks that are coming in that they don't. It's good for the game. It's good for marketing. It's good to sell potato chips. And so I don't care. Taylor Swift.
But it's also good.
That whole swag surf thing did piss me off, though. That was like.
Is she white, child? She ain't been able to dance. She's not, and she never lied about being able to dance. That's the funny part. She's never lied about it, and she can't.
But the whole stories around it was just like, oh, what is this new dance? What is this 10-year-old dance? This 10-year-old thing that's at every HBCU at celebration. Go ahead.
And she is opening up a lot of doors specifically for some NFL wives. One specifically, there's one wife for the past year, maybe more, has made custom jackets for wives and girlfriends. Great jackets, like cutout pieces, like she made for Simone Biles. She makes these jackets because the jackets have become so popular because of Simone Biles, but mainly Taylor Swift. That woman now has a licensing deal for merch with the NFL to make these custom designed jackets.
Kudos.
So,
kudos to her.
You know,
I'm always going to celebrate entrepreneurship. Women as what
are you going to talk about what Shannon Sharp said though?
I am going to talk about what Shannon Sharp said. Shannon Sharp was on his podcast with Ocho Cinco and said that Taylor Swift is so much bigger than Beyonce and it's not even close. And Brother Sharp, you're showing your age, you're showing your affiliations, and I saw it was an article out there that was written. Beyonce is a cultural icon amongst Black women that we have not seen probably since Diana Ross, right? A little bit of Whitney Houston, a little bit of Janet, yes. But Janet and Whitney were not moving merch, but it's also the time, there wasn't an opportunity when Whitney and Janet were huge to have this level of influence on people's lifestyles.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift is huge. Yeah, this show is just off the rails. It's just like, my little on air. I got this. It's so wild because in my office, that's on.
They don't care nothing about that light.
They don't give a damn about this little light I've got here that's saying.
Because, Miguel, no one can see that light when we're screaming in the living room. I've been in your house. If you walk in the front door, your office, living room, and kitchen to have fun. So when are they seeing the light?
By when they come to that door and see that it's on. Anyway.
Anyway,
anyway, Beyonce, Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is, and obviously it's a, I don't know a Taylor Swift song, right? I don't know, but I know there is a huge, my kids do, Layla, hey, it is what it is. But Taylor Swift is she 30? I don't know if she's that old. I don't think.
She's 33.
Okay, so she is targeting a younger demographic. The music, what she's delivering, I'm pretty sure she doesn't have any provocative content like Cuff It. You know what I mean? That you got to have a clean version of Cuff It in order to play it around your family. Beyonce, 40 plus years old. She grown and married to one of the biggest rappers in the history of the world. And been out 20, 25 years. So it's just a different. What Beyonce is doing at 41, 2, 3 years old to remain this relevant, where most musicians remain relevant for 3 to 5 years, is beyond amazing. That she keeps.
I think the Taylor Swift, I think the Taylor Swift impact is just different from Beyonce. Like you said, Beyonce's been kind of out of the game. Like Beyonce pops in and out because she wants to. She ain't got to. She got 3 kids, a husband. She pops in and out, whatever.
Yeah.
Taylor is almost like a Nicki Minaj in a healthy way. She always wants her fans to feel like I am here for you, I'm there for you, I'm listening to you. You know, when she dropped her album, I think it was 13. It was one of the I forget what number it was. I think it was 13. She invited 150 fans to her home. They didn't know they didn't know what house they were going to. She comes out and plays the entire album for them. She's that type of artist, and that's why she has such an impact. She's also hugely international. Beyonce's international, but I feel like Taylor's just a little bit more international than Beyonce, slightly, teeny tiny bit.
If you talk to anybody who's in radio programming, they would tell you that songs you remember word for word came out when you were between the ages of 16 and 23 years old. Those are the songs. And if I think about that time period, yes, any of those songs come on, I know them word for word and everything. Once we get to a point, we got lives and other stuff and bills and kids and
I got stuff to do.
Right, you got stuff to do. Beyonce is in the stuff to do category.
She is.
Right? But Taylor Swift is still in that tweener into early 20s when you ain't got nothing else to do. You got roommates, you paying bills. And let's just keep it real. She's white. And so
and she's also single. She ain't got no kids. She's not married. This relationship with Lil Travis Kelce, please God, let's just survive today so people don't murder this poor boy if they break up. But this is her first kind of really out there public relationship. She's dated other famous people. This is the first time the relationship has been like in everybody's face. Look at this right now. And also Taylor wants to have a huge impact on the culture. Beyonce didn't really care. She did not care. Taylor cares. Like Taylor has in every single concert, Taylor has a voting drive to get people signed up to vote. Taylor, goes from city to city doing charity work and voting rights and women's this and pro-life this. She does all that stuff. And again, Beyonce always has kind of been like, I'm staying out of politics. I'm staying out of this. I just want to sing and dance and have fun, and that's it.
And that scares the crap out of the GOP. That this Lily
They hate
White,
her.
vanilla ice cream, apple pie, everything about her is all American except for the fact that she's liberal. She's a progressive.
They hate her. They've actually made comments saying that, she's ruining the Super Bowl. More than any of the other black halftime shows that you guys said were ruining. Like, what's ruining the Super Bowl? The black halftime shows?
She's just gonna be there. She ain't performing.
The GOP, I feel like, started a rumor that they were going to replace her with Usher. And she was like, on what planet? On what planet would I, like, who does that? What are you talking about?
These folks are amazing. All right, y'all. This show was interesting. I'm going to sit up here.
Kimberell. We have to talk about.
Before we get out of here, I guess we got to talk about Kimber. So set it up, because everybody doesn't know who Kimberell is and what she did. So let's set it up.
Kimberell is a famous gospel singer. I don't know if she has a church home, maybe not. I'm not sure, but she's a famous gospel singer, and she's not a good person. God actually doesn't like Kimberell and doesn't talk to her directly, but she thinks he does. So recently she was at a church service, tent service, looked like somebody's backyard, I don't know. And she was singing, closing the service. And while she was singing, another person started singing. And ladies and gentlemen, this is how it went. Please play.
This is so low. God's using me. Don't sing with me right now. Lord, I'm singing alone now.
It's the first time I actually heard the woman in the back.
Ma'am, with that mask. Let that mask work for you. I'm singing alone. Lord,
let that mask work for you.
Oh my God.
This woman is something else. She came, what was it, a couple of years ago? She had the controversy around her talking about these pastors with their little PPP loans, and she was making light of that. And you know what, Omar said we should have ran out how what.
And he didn't even know who Kimberell is. I'm gonna come out the room. And I'm gonna get Khaliba eyes like, who's Kimberell? Like, I don't have so Kimberell, she's got one song that's absolutely amazing that I play. It's on one of my jazz playlists. This is an amazing song. But she's a crap person.
She is not a good person. She is really. And then for her to come on out and sit up here, the Lord was using me, and she want to laugh it off like it's not a big deal. It's a big deal. And here's the other big deal. The other big deal is that, baby girl, your booking, your engagements are starting to get a little suspect, because that church was about the size of my garage. You can barely get 3 cars in there. No disrespect to the Lord's using that congregation to do whatever he's doing, but
they still got pews, Miguel. They still got pews in that church you just showed. When the last time you seen a pew?
It's been a minute. Them wood pews.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
My dad's church is the last church I've seen to have pews since that church. So she went from performing at mega churches to now, again, tent services, backyard, people's baptisms, christening services. She's singing that, and they got the nerve.
Down singing the baptisms in church. God, you just take it
now.
Too
Truth
far.
be told, in a church that small, you can hear when people are singing over you. Because my mom goes to a church that's kind of set up like that. Mm-hmm. And when the choir be off, I'd be like, well, everybody can hear her, right? I can hear her. And she be in there, and you can hear it. So I get why it would be distracting, but you kind of have to power through. You can't look the person dead in the eye like, you in the mask. Let the mask work for you. Please stop singing.
Let the mask work for you.
This is so low. God's using me. Don't sing with me right now. Lord.
Who stops talking to Jesus to say that?
Ma'am with that mask.
Ma'am with that mask. He called you out directly.
Oh,
and on
it's almost like you're praying at Thanksgiving and people are like, can you wrap it up? It's the same weird thing. I don't know. I'm tired. I'm ready to go.
We appreciate you guys hanging out with us as this show went off the rails, but I hope it was still entertaining. It was to us. I'm going to sit up here and eat whatever my father-in-law just brought in here. And
I'm going to bed.
Bye-bye.